Okay, my channel has been dead for long enough, but in order for it not to die again, I need to start making some actual content, not whatever this is. Let's get started. Sonic, fan-made. These two work in tandem better than this bread is my body, this one is my blood. Sonic, having as many games as he does, has inspired his numerous fans to create games of their own with him. From Sonic Boom in 1995, wow, to Sonic Roblox 2, which should really be called Sonic Roblox 3D since it's essentially the first game but in 3D, to remakes of games like Sonic P06 and Triple Trouble 16-bit. Heck, even games not featuring Sonic like Project Rascal. There is a certain section of Sonic fan games though that I don't think anyone has thoroughly looked through, and that is Roblox Sonic games. Yeah, Roblox, Minecraft's younger cousin even though it was made 3 years before. If you know anything about Sonic on Roblox, then of course you've probably heard of the big ones. Sonic Speed Sim, Sonic Pulse, Pirate Adventure, but I think to get the full picture, we need to go back to the beginning and figure out what caused them all to pop up. If we're going to cover Sonic Roblox games, then I think we need to start with Roblox itself. Roblox isn't really a game, more as an engine for people to create their own games in, or experiences as Roblox calls them. The games made early on were basic and didn't change much about Roblox's core gameplay, but over time, games got more complex, adding in different things and making different genres. This applied to Sonic games on the site. If you were to look up Sonic in say 2014, the best you were going to get was this. But in the terms of actual Sonic-like games, where did the scene exactly get its roots? By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, a thumbs up would be appreciated. Way before the wave of Sonic games we have now, in 2013 by Virus Dev, we have Classic Sonic Simulator. Classic Simulator is a really faithful recreation of the Genesis games, and by faithful, I mean faithful. You can play a handful of zones from the Genesis games, some extra, like House. There's even a full level creator to mess around with, and you can play other people's levels just like Mario Maker, all in Roblox. Quite impressive for a baby game. A year later, Sonic Ultimate RPG made by Ezekiel goes for a 3D modern Sonic style. Made in 2014, the game boasts a variety of things, like the boost, the Chaos Emeralds, a massive island to explore, different equipable animations, and even a PvP mode. Roaming around and exploring the diverse areas while collecting the emeralds feels great. Even after 10 years, the game continues to receive regular updates, even to this day. Notably, many of the features I mentioned were incorporated through updates, making it difficult to imagine how the old versions might have looked like. 2 years after Ultimate RPG, Sonic Universe RP was made in 2016 by Vegito1833. Universe RP consists of, well, it's in the title, RP, or roleplay. That means you get to play as Sonic characters. A ton of Sonic characters. Over 100 in fact. Even Professor Pickle! Unlike Ultimate RPG, which uses your avatar model, Universe RP uses actual models for the characters, and they look pretty good. The characters have moves you can perform, but they're really only used for roleplay purposes. You can traverse the map a bit like Google Maps Street View. Like Ultimate RPG, there are the Chaos Emeralds and even the World Rings to get, but there's not much to do aside from that. Jumping a couple years, in 2018, Sonic Infinity was created by Bear2126. Following Universe RP, Infinity uses character models, and like that game, they're cool. Also like Universe RP, you can roam around the map and explore areas like the Death Egg, outer space, a massive lake. Yes, the areas look amateurish, but you can see the beginning of something here. Alongside Sonic, you can play as other characters like Tails who can fly. It's visually and controllably a bit jank, but hey, at least he can fly here. At least. After making Infinity, Bear didn't stop there. He went on to make several other Sonic games, including Sonic Freedom Universe, Infinity DX, DX 2.0, Tech Demo, and Sandbox. It was like FNAF, he didn't stop. Every one of these games are similar but different, each having their own quirks to them, like DX 2.0 having abilities for the characters, and Sandbox having the most customization of any of Bear's games. Moving on, in 2018-19, Sonic Sound Engine was released, created by Cypher123. Sound Engine is an open source engine, open source meaning anyone could use it. Sound Engine is essentially the most basic version of the Unleashed Boost gameplay that you can think of. But I mean, it works. Due to its simplicity, it's easy to understand. Some games still use Sound Engine, like Sonic Astral, but compared to the games we have now, Sound Engine feels dated. Yeah, it's a fine engine, but as I said, it's essentially the most basic version of the Unleashed Boost gameplay that you can think of. And it being open source to anyone means you get a whole lot of low-effort games that were probably made by young kids, or people who don't want to go through the hassle of making their own engine. This next one is a bit dicey. Sonic Eclipse Online, or SEO, was a Sonic Adventure-style 2018 game made by Dr. O'Fatnik. You could switch between buy multiple characters with actual Robux. Some did have actual abilities, unlike Universe RP. Off to a good start. The physics weren't an exact recreation of the adventure games, being just slightly wonk. Just like the adventure games, but aside from the characters you had to pay for, no real harm was done. Except I would be lying. Throughout my sentences I've been using past tense words like was and weren't. That's because the game, at least the original, has been taken down from Roblox per Sega's request. As you can imagine, it was taken down for, well, the reasons are a bit obvious, as well as behind the scenes having a lot of controversy, like the creator Dr. O'Fatnik being into children. And not in the how do you do fellow kids way. I'm talking the Joe Biden way. Let's just move on from here. Now, 2020, the year of struggle. In this year, a particular Sonic game would be made, one that would catch everyone's attention for being so good. You know what's coming. I know what's coming. Made by Digital Purgatory, Onset Adventure was, I think, the main thing to cause all of these Sonic Roblox games to spring up. Why? Well, it speaks for itself. It's a really close replication of Sonic Adventure and its sequel's gameplay. There's item boxes, springs, dash pads, the model for Sonic looks really nice as well as his animations. Emerald Coast is a full stage and other moves added in that weren't in the adventure games like the air kick from Advance 2. This game had it all at the time. You could not find another game like this on Roblox. So naturally, the game started to gain mass traction, with the legacy version sitting at over 31 million visits. Onset Adventure has since moved from Roblox onto the Godot engine. The Goddard engine. Presumably because they want to have mods like SRB2. If you don't know, SRB2 has a vast modding scene, allowing people to create custom characters, levels, and different momentum types like X-Momentum. That decision is kind of a detriment for me, since now Onset Adventure just feels like any other Sonic fan game, making it not as special anymore. After seeing the potential in Onset Adventure, many others would follow suit, creating the boom of Sonic Roblox games. Games like Sonic Speedway, Project Adventure X, Sonic Expedition, Paradise, Retribution, and MattDevX's Sonic Tournament, which I had a hand in making. Too bad it's on hold. The developers of Onset Adventure would go on to make Sonic Speed Simulator, an official Sonic game on Roblox. That's a big feat. Too bad Speed Sim kinda sucks now. When you first start playing the game, it can be fun. Leveling up, getting chows, going really fast is cool. For a while, until you realize that's literally all you're going to be doing for your playtime. The problem with Speed Sim is that it slowly gets more boring and repetitive as you go on until you stop playing. It's clear to see now that Speed Sim has devolved into a cash grab, and it's kinda sad. The newly released Sonic Dream Team, from what it looks like, is what Speed Sim should have been, to be honest. But what we ended up getting was a once promising and fun idea at the time that has been overcrowded with characters that don't contribute anything to the gameplay, even though they did shake up the gameplay in the actual games. Skins that you'll buy and forget in a week, a whole pack of microtransactions, and worst of all, gameplay that gets old quick, which is a mistake you won't want to make. I think that concludes our history lesson for today. Now, I didn't cover every Sonic Roblox game in this video because there are just too damn many. I chose to include the games that I felt were the most important to this video's topic, so I don't ramble on for 30 minutes. Now that it's the end of the video, you know what that means. Time to shamelessly self-promote. If you would like to see the mean art I make, then you can go to my socials in the description. But with everything out of the way and the credits slowly closing in, I'll see you later, kid.